Hey guys, it's Isis here. I am going to do my favorite 13 witchy tag. So let's see, where am I going to start? First of all, it's not going to be in any exact order because I'm just going to be going all over the place. Um, but to start with, since I am the Hoodoo Witch and I am an herbalist, I think this is probably one of my most top number ones, or up there within the top number ones. Witchy favorite would be my herbs. So, herb I have here is my yarrow. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the tags on my label. Um, yeah. I grow most of my herbs. And let's see, right now I have lavender growing, I have woodworm growing. What else? Oh, rosemary. Of course, I got a big rosemary hedge. I have that and a couple of other protective herb bushes. They're bushes now. They're growing around my house. Um, bayberry, bayberry. Yeah. So, and what I can't grow, I garden. So I garden organically. What I can't grow, I get from Mountain Rose Herbs, which I like their stuff. Most of us here know about them. Most of their products, I think all of their products, are organically grown. And if I don't get it from them, there's a couple of other sources that I know that is up there with Mountain Rose Herbs, and they produce organically grown herbs, good quality stuff. So what I can't get or grow locally myself, I will order. So I try to keep myself well stocked. Um, so what other things? Let's see. Ooh, I guess next would be any good hoodoo witch. She wouldn't call herself a hoodoo witch if she didn't have some roots. So this is one of my roots. I don't know. Again, this is a Jezebel root. Um, I think you can see it better that way. Um, Jezebel root. Everybody knows the story about Jezebel. So, if you would like to know more, um, request in the comments, and we'll do a separate video on that. So, um, I'll try to show you what the Jezebel looks like. It's like a bark. It is a bark actually. So, yeah, there you go. That works. um, it can be used for love, um, to attract men and to attract men with money, especially. Um, it's a controlling, you can do some controlling spells with this. So it's kind of like, not command and compel, but kind of sort of. You can compel some people to do stuff. Um, so you can also do some kind of, not hexes, I would say, but like a jinx, which I would say is like a little watered down hex. So a little not as powerful with Jezebel root. So that's a root that you can work with. Other roots or curios. This is some bank dirt that I harvested from a local bank in my area. Actually, a really old bank in my area. I was doing some financial sorcery. You always got to keep your finances strong and your money working strong. You always want to have a constant flow of cash flow. Do I have in my little? I have so much stuff. Um, Actually, this is another one of my curios, I guess, or roots you would say. This is a Hydra and the Conqueror root. This is kind of a big one. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this out. Let's see. It's a root. And so, can you see that? Yeah, yeah. So, and I keep that with some cowrie shells that I have. I have a lot of these. If I purchase roots, sometimes they send them as Lagame. They send them with them. And, I love getting them. I have so many. I also use some in my hair. I don't have any now, but I use them in my hair. This is considered in Africa in ancient times and in Kemet, I believe also, as money. So this is actually a source of money, or was considered a source of money. So again, this would be good if you're doing any kind of financial things to put on your money altar or anything. And so, yeah, let's keep it going. What else? Wow. Yay. Let's see. I have some protection stuff. I have this. Let's see if you guys can see this. And how many of you know what this is? Um, I like to use this in my cleansing. Um, it is, I guess you would say it's custom, and the region would be closer to Louisiana or New Orleans. They like to use this. This is red brick dust. So you use this in washes, and I like to use it in washes as a protection form. I use it to cleanse my floors well, actually, I can put it in a wash, and then sometimes I just use it and I sprinkle it around my property, around my entrance ways as people come in. This is good keeping unwanted things out. So I have this all over. I have jars of this. I have bags of this. This is just, I like to put it in little packages. Actually, I purchased this from one of my sources like this. And I like to keep these little Ziploc bags like this because then I keep this handy where I can just grab a small amount and leave this out instead of going into my storage. um, so let's get into some other stuff. My oils. Haha. This is actually, I don't know, I've been using this. This is actually one of my love oils. Again, if you're a witch, you know you need lots of jars. So I have jars like with my herbs. I have all kinds and all sizes and shapes of jars. I'm always collecting jars. If you want to send me some jars, send me some jars. I love jars. I need jars. I always need jars. Um, and as you see, I like to keep a lot of the herbs. This is almost finished. I'm gonna have to make another batch. This was rose petals. It picked up the color. Trying to show you. So this was rose petals in here, and I think I used some grapeseed oil for this. Um, it was either grapeseed or almond oil. I like to make a lot of my own oils. Sometimes I do purchase oils also. Some again from other sources that I know that are really good. I might list some sources down at the end of this video or at the details so you guys who don't make your own oils or aren't there yet, you can know some good sources where you can buy some oils. Um, this is my fiery oil of protection. This again, I need to make some more. This is almost finished. I've been using this. I've been giving this away to some friends. You know, people always need some protection. Um, all of my oils and herbs are blessed. A lot of them are charged under the moon. I like to charge them underneath the full moons and the blue moons. Um, so like that, the bank dirt, that was actually recently charged underneath the blue moon. So not only did it have its energies, which it had really powerful energies when I obtained it, but I charged it underneath the blue moon for like 2 whole days. And like the beginning, the night before, and then that following day. So, and then I had it on my altar. It's been on my altar. So it's really some good stuff there. So again, I like to charge all my oils at least like for a week. I pray over them and I charge them. Um, what else? Here's some more oil that I've made. This is this is also a sort of love oil, and I don't know if you can see, and I don't know if you're going to be able to pick up that, but this has also a whole root of Adam and Eve root in it. This is one of my really powerful oils, with some very powerful spell work. Some naughty spell work, I should say. And I have also, this is another oil that I have given out to some friends and, in need who needed some things. And I've used personally. So, yeah, this is good stuff here. Um, let's see. Moving right along. I don't even know what number we're up to, guys. So my crystals. Um, Tiger's Eye. I don't know if you can see that. Um, I have a piece of jade, jasper. Is that actually? I think this is carmeline. I think this is a carmeline. Some lapis, blue lapis lazuli. So, but these are just my tumbled stones because it was easier to show you them. I have crystals all over. Big pieces, small pieces, pieces on my altar. I have a lot of electronics. I'm a techie geek. So I have crystal pyramids to absorb some of the electronic energy. So I have those sitting there and just the ions because, electronic energy puts out a lot of, it puts out a lot of energy. So you don't really need that all around you. Sometimes that makes it hard to sleep if you're an insomniac, which I am. That's a good key to know. You need to put something to help absorb that energy. Um, Moving right along, staying with crystals, this is my pendulum. This is one of my favorite witchy tools. This is my actual amethyst. It's an amethyst pendulum. This is my favorite. It's my favorite pendulum, I should say. So I have other pendulums, but this is one of my favorites, my amethyst. I wore this, I kept this on my body. I've had this probably like for about 4 years now. I've slept with this. So this is my tried and true one. It's kind of simple and plain, but it's like with friends. So, um, let's see. I I think I'm doing pretty good. Um, I hope this video is not gonna be crazy long. My candles. I love to do candle magic. So this is one of my candles. You always need lots of candles. I use all kind of candles. I use chime candles. Um, I use novenas, the big ones. I have some of those. Novenas, 7-day candles, blessed candles, votives. For my ancestor altar, I use the tea lights. I like to use the tea lights there because I have a little small ancestral altar, and I just put that there when I'm giving them food offerings and different offerings. And that's quick. I feel safe with that to the point. So I use those there. Um, Wow, I'm doing good. Oh, sage. So I guess this would go underneath herbs, but I would also consider this as like an incense because I use this for everything. This is a regular sage. This one is mixed with sweetgrass. I like the two fragrances together. I also use Palo Santo, if you guys know about that. I don't have any right now because I've been using it and I'm all out. So anybody wants to send me some, thank you. But I think I have an order coming in with some anyway. So that's one of the reasons. I'll use that together also. The sage. This is like a general go-to. And then for special rituals or special deep cleansings for me, then I'll follow the Palo Santo. But I do love the way I love that woody smell. I love that smell that the Palo Santo gives off. That's why I guess I use it so much. But in general, if I have to bless something for someone or I just feel the energies in a room, if I can use it in an office, I will use the sage. Sage is my first go-to evil one. This one I usually keep at home. This is the one that it's mixed with sweetgrass. And this is just plain sage. It's easier for me just to find the plain sage. So this one is, this is like my travel sage. I'll take this with me different places and use this to bless the energies, and charge up the energies, change the energy if it just feels yucky. You can get that feeling where it's just like a yucky feeling around. Um, let's see. Also, I would say my gree-grees, or some people might know this as a Mojo Bag. I call it my Mojo Bags. I make my own. I make them for family and friends for lots of different purposes. This one I actually didn't make. This one I guess you saw in another previous video. This one was a gift from one of my girlfriends. This one is for success, and she actually picked this up from New Orleans. This is from the Mary LaVue gift shop, I believe, which is also her museum down there. So this is one of the ones that I made. I have like so many. This is um, one that I made for my husband that I'm actually redoing um, with some stuff. So I'm working on this. So I like to get or buy the flannel bags, and sometimes if I have the material from head wraps and stuff, I'll just tie it together, much like this one. So you don't have to have a velvet or a flannel bag like this. You can just get a piece of flannel material, like pajama material, and put all your herbs in. I like to charge them again and bless them and tie them up and use them just like this. So it doesn't have to be all professional like this. These I tend to like, even one, I can drop this in a bag and carry this in a purse with me. These I sometimes like I'm working on one right now for travel for the car. We have an old car, but then again I don't have a car now. So, but when you have an old car, it always needs repairs and you never know what's going to happen, and I want us to travel in safety. So I have a gree bag for protection for us while we're traveling so that we don't get a flat tire or anything like that, and the car drives safely and we get from one point to the next. Herbs that I would include in a travel gree would be like comfrey, um, anything for protection, devil's shoestring, angelica root. Those are just some of the things that I would, and again, blessed charge it, and maybe put a petition or prayer, maybe use Psalms, um, and hang that over the mirror. So, and I think Lady Grave Dancer also made a video recently on chicken feet. I also like to hang a little chicken feet at my rearview mirror, and I made a comment on her video, the reason why for that. Um, wow. Next one is on my list is books. So that would be one of my favorite. I think later I'm gonna probably do a video on my book collection. If you guys want to see that again, let me know. I do have a lot of books and stuff. Maybe some that you've seen before, maybe some that you really haven't seen. I would consider book is this is my book of shadows. Um, yeah. I have a lot of things digitally that I've, taken, but I personally write things down and I like to keep certain things that I know, spells that have worked, things that I use, recipes that have been handed down. So to me, I don't need a huge book. This is like a personal diary to me. So this has a lot of deep personal stuff, some stuff that has been handed down that I'm just recording, and I'm gonna leave this to my kids. So and it has some correspondence stuff, but mostly it's kind of like my own personal recipe book. So it has like everything, stories that I have said, dreams, some dreams. Um, but a lot of my personal spell work is in here. Um, and like I said, with this one of the books that I use the Bible. So I like to use Psalms especially. That's why I purchased this, because this is a quick way for me just to grab a Psalm that I need really quickly. But I use the Bible, mostly Psalms, but I use other um, scriptures from the Bible in my spell work. So that's just tradition. That's how I was taught. I'm not a Christian. I'm a pagan, but I believe, there's certain magical properties, and I think some of us know that there's certain magical properties in the Bible. Um, oh, tarot cards, my tarot. And I would put tarot and oracle together. This is my goddess oracles. And these are my Rider-Waite tarots. These are really my husband's. I don't really personally like the Rider-Waite's. I have some other tarots. I just grabbed these because these were close. But I use these both together. It depends. Sometimes I'll do a tarot. Sometimes I'll do an oracle. To me, I find oracle readings are more meaningful. I can get into depth with them. They come easier to me. But I can also do tarot readings. So it depends. I think my son likes tarot. I like oracle, but again, I use them hand in hand. They go together. And I think I'm at my end. Did I get it all? I hope that was 13. I think that was 13. I might have went over. But yeah, oh, the one important thing. This is probably my most um top number one. This is definitely my number one is here. The most important witchy tool to me is here, your mind. Because with doing any spell, you need your intentions, you need to focus, and you don't need to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff. Like some people say you need an FMA, you need a bowline, you need a wand, you need a bell. I didn't start with all of that. So I started with what I had, what I grew, and just what I had on hand. That's how I was raised. That's what we had. We didn't have a whole bunch of fancy stuff. So your greatest gift and your greatest this is where all the magic really comes from. It comes from here, and you transmute it into everything else. Everything else is like an antenna. It's just an extension of wand. It comes from here, and then it goes into the wand. It comes from here, and it goes into the herbs. Um, Even though herbs have their own properties and roots have their own properties and energies, but it's the properties of the energies and the energies from nature, and then you add to that your own, and it's the marriage of those two. That's where the magic really happens. So to me, this is your greatest tool.